Hello and welcome everyone to Cameron and Mai's new podcast that we haven't found the name of yet. So we're here to introduce you to facts every Friday. Facts you hopefully don't know. If you do, good for you. And I'm Lauren, and with me right now...
Hey everybody, it's Cameron. Welcome to the Fact Zone.
No, I don't like that one.
You know?
No, fact zone. It sounds like an area of your body your doctor would tell you to work on when you come in. He's like, this is your fact zone.
Your fact zone. You're keeping a lot of facts in your midsection.
Yeah,
you're appling down there.
You need to do some more cardio to get rid of your fact zone.
This is all things my doctor has told me, except without the C.
Okay, so not that one.
Do you ever go into a doctor and your doctor's just like, we got to work on your fat zone or something? I've been to the doctor within this past year. Go me. It's hard to do when you're late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Because
in a year.
Yeah, it's hard. I find you either get the doctor that's a little lenient or a little crazy in terms of how they work with you on that. Because for me, it's definitely the elephant in the room, aka. I mean,
it's your fact zone.
My fact zone.
Yeah. He's like, so what do you mean lenient? He's like, nah, you're fine.
I've heard things like, man, you compact it well. I've also heard, I'm not even kidding. Like if I go look at my medical chart and all of that, I bet it would say compact or something like that. And then another person was just like, well, we got to work on that. We got to work on that. Favorite. And they've told me the zone. They told me the zone I got to work on.
They take a Sharpie and just start circling areas.
I'm like, am I getting surgery here? Nope. Just this is permanent.
We just need you to feel a little bit of humiliation in order to do something about this. Go home, look in the mirror, cry, and sit in your bathtub for an hour.
You know, I work in the medical industry, and we give people after visit summaries. I would love it if like detail 1, 2, and 3 after your visit, just on your papers, like go home, get a good cry in. Then go look at the Sharpie marks and then get to work, buddy.
Yeah. You got this. I don't want to see your fact zone like that again. Okay, so we're not calling it fact zone.
No, not fact zone.
No.
It's got to be fun, alliterative. Is that a word? Alliteration-ish?
It is. No, alliteration-ish is the better word. So
hey, how about that? Alliteration-ish. No. Okay.
No. Veto immediately. What about funky facts, friend?
Funky facts, friend.
Again, it sounds like you got a funky fat friend that you're inviting over, like your morbidly obese buddy with like purple spiky hair.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a hard stop for many people if they kind of get that vibe. Trust me, we're not going to be talking about body image or BMI or all that fun stuff.
Not here.
Not here.
Leave that at the door.
Just fun facts.
Yeah. Just fun facts.
Just fun facts.
Just fun facts.
How about fax me a fact? And every week, no, hear me out.
Okay.
Every week at our job. Oh, you quit. Oh,
I did. I don't have a job right now.
Oh, gosh.
This is my whole world.
Okay. But still, hear me out.
Okay.
This will be part of the fun. Every week we fax each other a fact. And I'll send mine to like Kinko's or something. You go pick it up. You live next to a Kinko's.
There's a FedEx Kinko's literally half a block from my house.
Hey, how weird is the name Kinko's?
Yeah, it is weird.
No,
just... It sounds like a toy for children.
It sounds like a type of person that's really into kinks.
I'm a Kinko.
Look at this Kinko over here.
Like it's a category you'd select on Tinder or something.
Yeah, I'm a Kinko. And then you break it down into all the other kind of kinks that you like that add up to make you one Kinko.
I'm a black belt Kinko.
Really you got a black belt kink?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Okay.
What?
I said okay.
Okay.
Okay, we can't name it that because I can't even remember what it was.
Okay, so we want to release this on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Facts Friday. Friday facts. All about Friday. Every episode from here until the day we die, we drum up one fact about a Friday.
Any Friday in the history of the world? Like there was this one Friday and
Yes.
Jesus was crucified.
Oh my gosh.
Like that. It's a Good Friday.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be.
That's the biggest one though.
That's the biggest one. So we will
can't leave it that.
we will build up to that.
Okay. I still don't know. I don't know about limiting it to Fridays because, I mean, yes, right? Hold on. But a lot of transitional words just then. But
Ergo.
I don't know when my facts came out. Mine are all historical. Most
Okay.
of mine right now are historical. So I don't know when they happened. But we are releasing on Friday. Let's keep Friday in the name. Yeah.
So, Factoid. Do we like that name?
I like Factoid.
Okay. What is a
Factoid.
factoid? Like, what is the difference between a fact and a factoid?
I think a factoid is like has an asterisk on it and it means like fascinating or like a jumping off point maybe.
Gotcha.
Kind of like it could be wrapped up in one sentence but it leaves you wanting more. Maybe that's what a factoid is.
Maybe. Let's never look it up.
Never.
So I like maybe Factoid Fridays.
Factoid Friday. I like it.
Did your I'm also thinking of like other cool things on Fridays. There used to be this thing in my elementary school called Fantastic Fridays where they sold candy after school.
Ooh.
And I want this to be like a candy buffet for our guests.
I love that.
We just call it Fantastic Fridays.
Fantastic Fridays.
And we just so happen to talk about facts. So the whole name, Fantastic Fridays, we just so happen to be talking about facts here.
That's a lot. That's
This
a
is
lot.
a subtitle.
We really would capture all the SEO people. They could type in a lot of things and we could get them.
We get them. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Let's get them SEO bitches.
We're setting up traps for you. I like Factoid Friday.
Factoid Friday.
Factoid Friday, subcopy, like candy for the child in you. Ooh, wait, I'm
Candy for the child in you.
That sounds kind of like a Russian doll situation. I don't know about that.
Well,
the
you
Russian
have something
dolls.
wrong with Russians?
Well, no, just the Russian dolls. Like,
Actually,
like
you know what? I'm going to take a stance right here. Russians, you haven't been on top of your game lately.
I didn't realize we were making stands.
We're taking that stance. No.
I want to take back any affiliation I have with Cameron or this podcast.
I'm not scared of you, Putin. Come
I
at
am
me.
Putin. I'm scared. Factoid Friday.
Factoid Friday.
I think it's good.
Fantastic Factoid Friday?
Fantastic Factoid Friday. I'm cool with that too.
Okay, or...
Triple F.
Hey, ladies and gents, you're going to find out. No, you've already selected the podcast. You know the name. I guess we don't, but you do. So you got the upper arm here.
You know before
upper
we do.
hand.
Upper, all the way up to the upper arm. Cool. I like it. Cameron.
Thank you, Lauren.
Cool.
So what do we want to do with this? I mean, we know, but I'm asking you so that you'll tell our listener. What is this? What is the format?
Well, the format is that there is really no format. We're just going to each episode, one of us will share a fact. We will then kind of take that beautiful seed of a factoid and let it blossom and bloom into what it will become, which we don't know at the beginning of every episode. It's a journey of improv, a journey of facts, and
A journey of ourselves.
a journey of ourselves. Yeah.
Who are we going to be at the end of this?
Only time will tell.
Well, I like that. To add a little bit more clarity, you did great, by the way.
Thank you.
To add a little bit more clarity, I think halfway through, we are going to put a hard stop on it. And I guess most of the time, we may just take some time and do some improv off our chits and our chats. See where that goes. We may stop by week 3, but yeah.
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 You're in this with us now.
Yep. Sorry we didn't put improv in the name. Too bad, but you're already here. Okay, so do you want to hit us?
I'm up this week. Okay. So I recently read a novel called The Black Tulip. This is where I sound like a real a-hole. It was written by Alexander Dumas in the 1800s. And it's a book about, this is a lot of information. Basically, it's a book about a contest to create a black tulip. And this fact is about this time period that happened in.
Okay.
Wait, Dutch is Denmark. No, Netherlands. I get that confused.
Okay, fun fact for this week, I was listening to someone and they totally were using a Dutch accent and then said they were from Denmark.
A common mistake, because you think, but Denmark are the Danes.
Danes, right?
Like Hamlet was from Denmark. They're Danish, but Dutch is the Netherlands.
Right.
So that's very confusing.
It is. I get that.
So anyway, my fact is about, there was this time period in the Netherlands in the 1600s. Well, it was actually just a year, 1636 to 1637, where tulips were traded like currency. People became so obsessed with tulips and varying their bulbs and making them different and unique that people were trading them for the value of like a home. Like a tulip bulb would go for the value of a manor house. And like so kind of like art, it's a perceived value on something. So if someone decides it's worth something, then it is worth something. So people literally lost their fortunes because they traded everything they had for some tulip bulbs.
So they were like the Pokemon cards of the
1600s. Yeah.
Tracking.
And like people devoted their lives, well, in this amount of time, in this short window of time, to cultivating new breeds of tulip, and the more rarer of colors were worth more money. So it was literally bulbs were a currency. Isn't that crazy? And then all of a sudden the market completely crashed and people had all these tulip bulbs that were worth nothing because they were always worth nothing, but they were a perceived value.
So what caused I'm curious this is crazy. So what would cause like a market like that to just suddenly crash?
You know what? I don't know. The book I was reading, it didn't give a reason for the economic change, but like I think it just grew too fast, too quickly, or that's two words. Those mean the same thing. It grew too big, too quickly. And then all of a sudden it reached its peak and no tulip was worth. And I don't know, it crashed all of a sudden. People became like this one artist, he had sold all his paintings to get these tulips, and then he ended up dying like bankrupt and like with nothing.
I bet it was a beautiful funeral with all those tulips.
You're probably right.
So let's think of a world in which you have all these excess flowers. Like what? I don't know. You'll still have those people that will like cling on to it for a little while, you know. And
flowers,
like to the flowers, like they're not like throwing them away in the streets, right? Like, how do you go from like this is worth something to complete trash?
I don't know. I mean, like I don't know. It must have been the weirdest time. Like it was like auction blocks, and they were auctioning off a muddy ball, a tulip bulb, and it's like, you know, 20,000 pounds or whatever I don't know what their currency was then. But I don't know what they do with them. And like, I don't know.
Wow. So if I could take a solid tulip, cultivate another one, and like, it's almost a literal money growing on trees type situation.
It is. It actually is.
So
then during that year or during that brief window of time,
like someone's like, hey, wait a second, I can grow this. People are printing their own money in their homes.
Basically, but the printing of the money was the growing of the bulbs. And I wonder who...
The printing of the money was the growing of the bulbs. That sounds like a great novel right there.
I'll start writing it. It was fascinating, but I don't know who it started with. You know, like, who was the first person, who was the trendsetter who was like, tulips are the new money. And then someone just heard it, was like, yes, my liege. And they took it and ran with it.
I heard tulips are the new money.
Oh, blimey. Gather up some bulbs for me.
Yes. He must be from New Tulips. Like,
it's like some little, like, lackey nephew of a tulip farmer who's like, yes, family business will really improve. And then suddenly...
Wow.
Yeah.
Or I could just feel my favorite scenario. I feel like this is a like boardroom, like big tulips, like is like, we're not out there. And so what are we going to do? Like, what's the street rumor we're going to get started? Like, You go to the coffee shops, go into the town square and start telling everyone this is the new money. And
yeah,
like, how did Pogs become a thing? How did Pokemon cards become a thing?
It's like guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing in the 1600s. Just like, is that the right term? Guerrilla marketing?
Sure.
Just like, or where
like,
people
how did
are on the
gorillas
street.
become a big thing?
Gorillas?
Yeah. They.
Evolution.
Wow, we're covering all the ground right now.
Much like a gorilla's footprint would.
Absolutely.
Because they're so big.
So tulips. Why? I mean, of all the tulips aren't that nice. Like, of all the flowers, I guess they're everywhere there now, right?
Well,
what was the tulip economy prior to? So much. I feel like half of these episodes that we create are just going to be us like doing follow-ups to the facts. Like, I feel like next week we should have just a quick tulip follow-up or something like that. But I just, that's really hard for me to wrap my head around. So if you have, there's got to be something that happened there to cause this downfall. There's got to be like, for 2008, it's the housing market or something like that will cause this economy to just fall. And I feel like it's going to be like the Emperor's New Clothes scenario with the one kid that's like, hey, wait a second here. They're just flowers. Like,
right. Well, it's a bigger conversation about how we all want to belong and like be, and how we would rather agree with something stupid than stand out and be like, wait a second, these are just flowers.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
They're just boots with fur on the inside.
Well, this says here, I looked up another fact. It says that at its height, one tulip bulb could sell for 10 times the cost of an annual wage for a crafts worker. So take that as you will. I don't know what a craft worker got paid in the Netherlands in the 1600s, but it was 10 times that.
I think it's very simple. Like, okay, if anything, this fact just shows that, I mean, older people are just dum-dums. They're just dum-dums.
I can't disagree with you on that.
I mean, this is in the pudding right here. Like, this is, I mean, what is going to be the stupid thing that they're saying about us almost 400 years later?
Pogs and Beanie Babies. I like this though.
Beanie Babies. There's your parallel.
Cameron, what are our generation's tulip? So it's also called tulip fever, by the way.
Tulip fever. So what are our generation's tulip fever? Clearly, none of us were no pog was worth 10 times our parents' annual salary. Unless, your parent was making 50 cents a year, but. Right. But have you seen the documentaries about, there's one family that like built a shed for their Beanie Babies. Oh, and I think they've been the subject of many interviews just because they invested college funds, all of that into this like shed of Beanie Babies. You go in, oh my gosh, it's the most. I would rather watch an episode of Hoarders, which
it is
kind of like if you think about it, it's kind of this family like ended up being a hoarder. Like if I started collecting a bunch of gold and then gold lost its value, then I'd be a hoarder.
I guess that's true. Everything is a perceived value.
I know. So Beanie Babies, but I'm curious, like, so today you don't really have tangible physical items, of course, other than cold hard cash that have an inherent. So like you have all these
purses, like designer stuff. Or like Pottery Barn plates. I don't know.
Pottery Barn plates. I mean,
I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of.
I can see that.
Yeah.
We're looking for new plates.
Pottery Barn. Go to the thrift store. They have good plates.
I know. I found some. Man, we got these white plates in there. I don't know where they came from. Probably some Dutch or Netherlands, whatever. So one of those guys. They just hold up. And then you go online. We got them like a stack of 5 of these for like $5. And then you go online to like Potty Barn. Screw Potty Barn.
Potty Barn.
Screw Potty Barn.
We're going to get some hate mail from the Pottery Barn people. That's like the
Hay mail.
designer mafia. Did I say hay mail?
Hey, mail.
But I want to go back to the Beanie Baby people.
Yes.
I feel like, as cold as it sounds, that those people, it's like natural selection. You know, if they're going to invest everything in this Beanie Baby investment, then maybe they're like a crop that needs to be weeded out.
Yeah,
a little bit.
But it is kind of luck. They would have been naturally selected to fail or essentially kind of not thrive and survive in this day and age because they didn't get out at the right time, which is, less than 1 year later, we need to turn around and sell these puppies. Literally. Like, we need to get the ones with the hearts and the bears with the cool tie-dye. We got to get these out.
Or the ones with the weird mistakes in the names. And, like, those are the ones that are worth something. I have looked up the value of my Beanie Baby.
Really? So what's the most you could sell one of those bad boys for?
Oh, my gosh. Probably, like, $2.99.
It's not bad.
Even $2.99, not $299.
So what? I feel like this is a thing in the 90s where it got you and it got me. That, like, I don't know. Is this something that we tell kids? Because, like, baseball cards, Pokemon cards, Pogs, Beanie Babies. We're all told that. I feel like our parents added fuel to the flame that was like, hey, play with these toys because they may pay for your college one day.
Right.
And I got student loans. What does that tell you?
Well, that's why I'm trying to think. Maybe it's just because we're not children anymore, so we're not as susceptible to just believing things.
Sure.
But what is it right now for people? For, like, younger people? I mean, I don't know.
The slime is going to be worth...
Oh my gosh, slime.
Yeah, but nothing the kids collect other than maybe, like, some virtual reality gun they have on Fortnite. Like, none of that, like, nothing tangible that they own.
Well, Shopkins.
What are Shopkins?
Oh gosh, Shopkins. These tiny little toys. I can't believe you haven't been lured into the Shopkin world with a child. They're teeny tiny little, like, grocery store items for children to play with and potentially choke on because they're very small.
Oh, this is where you cook, like, a tiny omelet.
No, that's cool.
That's dope.
That's nice. This is just a tiny little thing to step on, a new thing to step on and hurt your foot. It's like a tiny little milk carton or a tiny little, I don't know, bowl of fruit. I don't understand.
Is this like what little homies use to, like, make meal? Like, what? I feel like this is something that interacts with little homies.
What's a little homie?
You don't know what a little homie is?
No,
it's like you put like grocery stores. You put a quarter in, they come out.
Yes,
and they're yes.
It's food for little homies.
Food for little homies.
Yeah,
worlds collide.
It's beautiful.
Gosh.
So yeah.
That's so I'll check out Little Shopkins. Is that what it's called?
No, don't check them out. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Leave them where they are.
Next week, you come in.
The house is full
of
Shopkins.
I got them all.
I got them all. It's like, for some reason, we are prone to collect things. Why are humans prone to collect things?
Well,
what's the deal with that? Like, is it our fear of not having enough that we just decide we need all of the variety of cow parade? I have a collection of cow parades under my bed. Do you know what that is? It's cows in different positions, dressed up in different ways. It's weird.
You mean a Chick-fil-A calendar?
Essentially, but in statue form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if anyone needs some cow parades, hit me up on OfferUp. They're for sale.
And while we're at it, my little Precious Moments dolls, got to get rid of those.
Yeah, what is up with us? And
but if you notice the trend, it's the most collectible things out there have big eyes.
Yeah, big eyes, they lure you in.
Beanie Babies. Went to a Cracker Barrel the other day, which should be a whole nother episode. Pleasantly surprised by this really weird place. We went to a Cracker Barrel. Beanie Babies' eyes are literally as big as their tummies now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's creepy.
It is.
It's all sorts of creepy.
Lures you in.
That's something you'll find in the dark corner of your room at night.
Because it glows.
Yeah, you're like, what light is hitting that thing right now? Because that light seems to be just coming from its soul. They are so scary. Google new Beanie Babies now.
Yeah.
And never sleep again.
And start collecting them because I hear they're really going up in value.
For real? Okay.
Yeah, Cameron, for real.
Next week.
You really, I'm sure you buy 10 today, they'll be worth at least 1.5 times that much.
Gosh.
By next Wednesday. That's the Beanie Baby market for you. It's quick turnaround. You got to get in fast, get out fast.
Get out fast.
Yeah.
Just immediately return it. Actually, you'll probably be better off if you walk out, play with it, and then immediately go back inside and be like,
right.
I want to level out on this one.
Yep, you just evened your investment.
But you've increased your happiness.
Joy? Yeah.
So that's a good wrap on that. And so now for the fun part of our show. Ready?
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we take you to modern day schoolyard.
I told you I don't want to play with you today, William.
Again, I just wanted to have a little bit of fun here. Just a little bit. Look, I have my cards. You have your pogs. You have your, it's not so much play. It's more of a transaction.
I know, but I've told you this isn't an even trade. I don't care how many Charizard cards you have. I am not trading you my Princess Di Beanie Baby for your stupid Charizard's cards.
Why do you gotta be so stinking high and mighty with yourself here? Like, no one even cares. She's not even around anymore. No one even knows who she is.
She died last week, William.
I do.
This is 1999. Don't you know? Or 97, William.
I keep forgetting that you had that horrible accident, and time is just kind of loose for you. Look,
fine.
But seriously, this is the second time this week. You always seem to just, anytime I approach you, friendly as can be, just wanting to make some simple trade, you're always shoving something in my face or literally running away from it. What is it about me?
It's because you remind me of my brother. He was lost in the accident with me, remember?
I do remember the assembly. I didn't really get to know your brother all that well.
It was a terrible day, that Wednesday when we were called to the gym. And they had the Harlem Globetrotters in for an assembly. Do you remember?
Those, God bless them. It really did brighten my day. But
I know.
How are you feeling? How are you doing? How are you holding up?
I was hopeful that day. I thought, maybe I'll get to play with the Globetrotters. But then Jonathan was called and poor little guy was trampled to death by those big shoes. Do you remember? It was horrible.
We've been trying to work on it, my therapist and I. A lot of the children, I mean, it was a crazy day. It was, I really don't want to think about it. I know he's your brother, but is it fading away for you at all? It's got to be fading. Please tell me.
It's fading. It is fading.
It's too much.
I hardly remember him at all anymore, actually. But he was.
You're blocking it out, aren't you?
I try to remember all the terrible things about him. It makes it easier,
Yes, like the time that he stomped on your foot because you were trying to make an unfair trade with that Beanie Baby.
It's true.
You're always trying to get rid of that Princess Diana.
I hate this bear. I want it gone.
I know. Even prior to her death, you were trying to get rid of it.
I was like it's like I knew. I didn't know about her.
Wait
death.
a second.
No.
What are you trying to say there?
I don't know. I have no connections to the royal family. Oh no. Oh. My accent.
I was about to say, you've been talking a little different here today.
Hey. Yes?
What happened to Jonathan?
Oh. I can't. You saw what happened to Jonathan. It was exactly what happened to Jonathan. There was no plan. It was what happened.
Wait a second.
What?
The Globetrotters, when they came to our school.
Yes?
We were all very down about the whole horrid accident the week prior. They were there to lift our spirits.
Yes. Yes.
Wait a second.
This
may be nothing, but...
What?
We all love basketball so much.
We do.
Everyone.
That's a thing we love here.
Your voice is doing it again.
Oh, nothing.
You took that trip to England a year ago. Wait a
I
second.
was going to get some beanies evaluated. There's okay. Yep. What? England?
Well, you met the princess before, didn't you?
I did. God save the queen. Yes, I did meet the princess.
But that
Yes.
she
I don't know how much I can tell you, William.
was this back in the day where only royalty could exact an amount upon a Beanie Baby, much like the weird royal cards they had. They determined the value.
She told me they were of no value. She told me my beanies were worth nothing. So I made a plan.
And Jonathan, he was there with you too.
Jonathan knew about the whole thing. Jonathan is...
Why would Jonathan try to hide this from us? It's such a minuscule detail. Why would it... I mean, we could care less, to be honest.
Jonathan knew how much I loved my Beanie Babies, and he forced the queen to tell me they were worth nothing so he could sell them on the British black market behind my back.
Wait a second. Jonathan always had a way with words.
And princesses.
The way he helped us get the Globetrotters.
Jonathan
He's very convincing.
He's the best 12-year-old negotiator I've ever met. Jonathan's always been the favorite in my family. He could negotiate used cars and housing prices.
That's how I got stuck with all these Pogs and all these Pokemon cards. And all of it's coming together.
And now your home is bankrupt, right? How does the housing market work? The bank foreclosed on your home from the deal Jonathan struck with you. You know what I mean?
You mean my parents?
Yes.
Yeah. That was such a shame. We're doing fine now, but good God. Jonathan.
So I had to do something, William.
You made it right, didn't you?
Yes. I knew the Globetrotters would never stop once they started trotting.
They're known for trotting.
They're known for blindly trotting.
Everyone knows the Globetrotters don't stop.
They don't stop trotting, even if a child is amongst them. They trot and they trot and they trot all over Jonathan until I had my revenge. Yeah. So don't try and sell me these shitty Charizard cards for my Diana.
It reminds you of your brother, right?
It does.
And this all took place in a modern-day schoolyard. Great.
Sounds about right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that about does it for Lauren and I. So, it's going to be very hard to ask you this now. If you like what just went into your ear holes, do us a favor, hop on to iTunes, click on that iTunes app, drop us one of those sweet reviews. Definitely up front. We got a couple of these preloaded. You give us that good solid review, we're gonna make it, baby. We're gonna be swimming in tulips.
Yeah, tulips.
So we will be dropping these on a weekly basis on Fridays. So to kind of help you on your commute, brighten your day, get you to that weekend a little bit quicker. And
Teach you something new to impress your coworkers when you get to work.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And in the meantime, you can reach Lauren at Nito's Tweetos on Twitter and Neateroni, Neateroni.
On the Instagram.
On Instagram. Myself, I am Cam Carter 2010.
On all the platforms.
All the places. Except for Twitch. Ain't there yet. But that about does it for us here. Lauren, send us out. Close us in prayer.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Amen.